And welcome to Overtime, brought to you by KingsCast at www.kingscast.net. I'm Keith Kornelek.
And I'm Chris Kalazewski.
The regular season is back in action. Kings hockey, it's happened. Not here, not in this continent, but elsewhere.
Season's finally on. You know, it's been a long off season here. Lots of waiting, lots for this day to finally come. The season's back on. We're back here at KingsCast with our new regular season. So we're here to talk about the Doughty contract, talk to the overseas games, and we'll give a little segment called the top 10 things we like about Sweden and Germany.
So here we go, episode 124, entitled Foreign Something.
So, Keith, obviously, it's been an exciting summer with the Richards thing, but we have this situation hanging over our heads all summer. That was the Drew Doughty situation.
Yes.
Because it was a situation. And, you know, there's been a lot of hype with the Kings this year, and almost to obnoxious levels. I just saw a billboard driving here on the way tonight that said, "The time is now," with a picture of Bailey and a hockey stick. Okay, we get it, you know. The Kings
was it really
contenders.
Bailey and a hockey stick?
Yes, it was. So, you know, obviously there's been a lot of hope for this season. So, Drew Doughty, the one hangover from that. So
We'll spend some more time on the Bailey thing, maybe another episode, because that just strikes me as weird. I've never heard that before. Drew Doughty finally signs 8 years, $7 million. Dean Lombardi went up, in salary. Drew Doughty also went up in years, gave, 3 more years off the 5 he's supposedly stuck to. And you know what? I mean, after the season he had, you're paying for potential. $7 million, you get him for 8 years. You have the core essentially locked up, then the goalies after next season. But things are looking pretty good cap-wise. Jeff Solomon obviously does a really good job, understands that we can actually afford to pay it because God knows if we couldn't, he wouldn't.
Well, yeah, I know, obviously the clock was ticking. They didn't want to go on the Europe trip without Doughty, so people had to sort of bend over a little bit and just compromise a little bit. So glad that worked out. We knew it was going to work out. We weren't like, people are going crazy a little bit. We're going to lose Doughty, but that wasn't going to happen. I don't think.
Now, let me ask you a question, Chris.
Yes.
Do you think there was some sort of coincidence that Drew Doughty signed right before we went to Las Vegas?
No, he wanted to go to Vegas.
Yeah,
we saw him there a couple years at 2 a.m. He wanted to go to Vegas. So.
And he didn't want to play. He said he wanted to. He didn't want to play.
No way.
Exactly. So, you know what, Kings fans, those of you who are still hating on Drew Doughty, it is what it is. It is a business. The Kings did their thing. God knows Drew Doughty's agent is held up before Dean Lombardi. Personal vendetta. Didn't like the Kopitar left him. Whatever. Not buying a Drew Doughty jersey. Contract's fine. Kicked it off the regular season at home in Sweden.
Yeah, okay. We'll talk about how our thoughts about the overseas game thing here in a sec. But yes, season started, looked good, playing the Rangers. What are your thoughts about the game? I mean, it was...
I saw part of it because I think I was streaming it online at work, and I caught about every other 10 seconds while it caught up. Overall, I thought the Kings, obviously, looking like they're still trying to get their chemistry back. Dustin Penner, obviously, out of the lineup with a lower body injury. But we won in overtime. Who gets the game-winning goal but Jack Mother Johnson?
Yeah. Oh, and Kopitar had a big game, and so did Richards. So we'd like to see those our number one centers looking good right there up the middle like we thought. But, Jack Johnson, and like you mentioned, Jack Johnson, he had a bad turnover earlier in the game, but redeemed himself, got the huge home win in Stockholm.
Yeah, Dennis Bernstein in the fourth period, said it best, that the reason why you get Mike Richards is because of the last 5 minutes of the game, and sure enough, the guy showed why we picked him up. The dude is absolutely clutch, assisted on that last goal, really sweet feed, had a goal himself, goal and assist in his first game. I like that, too.
I like it. Okay.
So, on to Berlin, where we played the Buffalo Sabres. Chris, this, to me, was really the true test. I know the Rangers upgraded, with Brad Richards and whatnot, but the Sabres really did a huge makeover in the offseason, getting Christian Ehrhoff, Robin Regehr, signing Ville Laino. People thought there might be some chemistry issues, but this is an owner who really wants to win, and sure enough, the Buffalo Sabres came out and kind of made the Kings look like a peewee team.
Yeah, it was looking pretty bad for a while. We kind of had the images of the Kings of the past, where it was just... They were kind of flat. They looked tired. It looked like they were playing in Europe or something. It was just clearly it wasn't there. Kopitar again had a goal or two.
He
actually.
had 2 goals.
2 goals, yes.
Killing it on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
Bernier did give up 4 goals. I think one of them may have been his fault. I did catch most of the game there, but we went 1-1. My only problem is we went 1-1 at home and not on the road. These do count as home games for the Los Angeles Kings. Disappointing to see. Now they're back on American soil, looking to play Jersey on Thursday. But, Chris, let's talk about this. I mean, obviously the reason why the Kings were considered a home team is because, Phil Anschutz owns both arenas in Europe. But is that really fair for the Los Angeles Kings to be the home team twice?
Well, no, it couldn't be any farther from a home team. I'm not even talking about the location, but it's playing in Sweden. Let's start with Sweden. There was no Swedes on the Kings. I mean, the biggest star of that game, the guy everyone was cheering for, obviously was the goaltender and Lundqvist. So it's like, yeah, it's great for them. The only advantage I see the Kings having was that they got the last change, but really that's it. And they got to wear the black jerseys. That's about it. I mean, in terms of advantage of being at home. So that's a joke. Then we go to Berlin. Where again, we don't have any Germans on the team either.
No, not even in the system.
Yeah, no. So it's like Ehrhoff on Buffalo. So they have he's
Vanek too, I believe.
Yeah, so he's from Austria. So it's like, okay, again, Kings, all they get was the black jerseys and the last change. So
well, I will say this: the team that won the Stanley Cup the last 3 years all came from the overseas games. Could this be the year? Who knows? So, Kings fans, we put together a little segment for you. That is the top 10 reasons why we love Sweden and Germany. All unedited R-rated movies are on television.
Tipping is not mandatory.
Dogs use toilets.
Sundays are strictly for chillin'.
Free vacation for the wives.
Everyone lives in a castle.
They have beer, wait for it, in soda machines.
Think no one knows you in LA? Literally no one knows you in Europe.
What happens in Sweden stays in Germany.
And finally, the number one best reason to play in Sweden and Germany is it's totally cool to start drinking at 10 a.m.
There we go.
All right, Kings fans, so as you know, we started a t-shirt store this summer after a 3-year wait. I know a lot of people were really excited about this. We're going to go ahead and plug one right now. This t-shirt right here, a KingsCast original. It's the Stape.
And it looks adorable on you, Chris.
Oh, thank you.
It really brings out your, muscular features.
It really does. You know what? The Stape. You know what? People say, who the hell calls it the Stape? You know what? Everyone calls it the Stape. So if you don't call it the Stape, then you don't know what to do. Yeah, seriously. So buy the shirt. Super cheap. Printed on American Apparel, which is totally cool. And also available in any color. So check it out in the KingsCast store, on the website, or on the Facebook page now, on the Spreadshirt bar on the left there.
Yep. Right off the Facebook page. Enjoy. Cha-ching. Kings had, not just Europe, Chris, but another epic trip this year. It was the fan cruise, which only Trevor Lewis went on, by the way.
Yeah.
So, Kings fan, your question of the day is, who went on the fan cruise and the trip to Europe? Leave your comments, as always, downstairs.
Yes, because I think we actually want to have you on the show.
Oh, totally. Okay. So I want to send a shout out to Rainmaker on Twitter. Loves the show. Thank you very much for watching. And Kings fans, we'll be right back at you next Tuesday after the home opener at the Stape. Kings are playing the St. Louis Blues, so we're kind of hoping for a win there.
Yeah, definitely. So excited to be back in Los Angeles with the Kings, and we'll see you there for our annual Return to Staples show.
Looking forward to it. I'm Keith Korneluk.
And I'm Chris Kalaszewski.
Thank you for watching Overtime. Bye, KingsCast.